Bloody Mary, the disease that consumed her. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. Mary I of England's body was slowly decaying, consumed by a disease that no one could explain. Her skin was pale, her energy was sagging, and her mind was wavering between despair and resignation. For years she suffered from irregular bleeding, dizziness, constant pain in her belly, and feverish episodes that confined her to bed. Was it an unknown disease, or was there something more sinister behind her death? Today we reveal the macabre truth behind the tragic end of England's first queen. Mary I, the first woman to rule England with full dynastic rights, lived and died in atrocious suffering. Her reign, which began in 1553, was marked by religious persecution, political instability and, above all, by an illness that consumed her until her last breath. For centuries, historians have debated the exact causes of his death, but one thing is certain: his agony was long and painful. Since her youth, Maria suffered from health problems, recurrent abdominal pain, irregular menstrual cycles, and frequent episodes of melancholy. These symptoms accompanied her throughout her life. The anguish of his childhood, marked by the annulment of the marriage between his parents, Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, may have affected his physical state. When she ascended the throne in 1553, she was already 37 years old and in poor health. Her main goal was to re-establish Catholicism in England and to secure an heir to carry on her legacy. Her marriage to Philip II of Spain, celebrated in 1554, seemed the right step to achieve this goal. The relationship between Maria and the future King of Spain was far from happy. Philip did not reciprocate the Queen's love and did nothing to hide his contempt. Maria, desperate, could not understand her husband's refusal, but soon she thought she had found a solution. A few months after the wedding, she showed signs of pregnancy. Her belly swelled, her menstrual cycle disappeared, and she claimed to feel movements in her womb. The entire court celebrated the news and anxiously awaited the birth, scheduled for May 1555. But time passed and the baby never arrived. After long months of waiting, the truth was understood: there was no baby. It was a hysterical pregnancy, a cruel illusion that led Maria to a deep state of depression. A second false alarm in 1557 finally destroyed her hope of becoming a mother. Her health rapidly deteriorated: high fevers, unbearable abdominal pain, and extreme weakness. As Mary slowly faded away, her kingdom also collapsed. Without an heir, her legacy was in danger, and her half-sister, Elizabeth, whom she had always seen as a threat, was gaining more and more support. In the last months of her life, Mary had to accept the harsh reality: she would never have children and Elizabeth would ascend the throne. Her body swelled, her skin became yellowish, and the court doctors could not explain her illness. On her deathbed, Mary prayed and received increasingly cold and distant letters from Philip, who was now living abroad and no longer caring about her. The fever consumed her, the pain was excruciating, and death was approaching. It is said that in her last moments she asked for passages from the Bible to be read to her, accepting her end with resignation. As Mary lay dying in St. James's Palace, London did not await her death with sadness, but with joy. Mary was hated for her religious persecution and her unpopular government. When she died, the people did not mourn, banquets were held, fireworks were set off, and the arrival of the new queen, Elizabeth I, was celebrated. A few hours after Mary's death, Cardinal Reginald Pole, Archbishop of Canterbury and her faithful ally, also died. This marked the definitive end of the Catholic Restoration in England. The speed with which Elizabeth I took power aroused suspicions of poisoning. The Spanish ambassador, the Duke of Feria, considered denouncing the plot, but feared that the new queen would reward rather than punish the culprit. Even Elizabeth, prudent and distrustful, did not immediately trust the news of her sister's death. To be sure, she ordered that Mary's wedding ring be brought to her, knowing that Mary would never take it off in her lifetime. Only then did she accept the fait accompli. Mary's body remained for hours without receiving funeral rites. Elizabeth was in no hurry to honor the memory of her half-sister, aware that any solemn gesture could strengthen her legitimacy in the eyes of the people. Finally, Mary I of England was buried without much honor in Westminster Abbey. Years later, Elizabeth I ordered that their bodies be buried together. Today, their gravestone reads, "Ironically, in death they were united, but in life they could not have been further apart." If you liked this video, leave a like, and what do you think about this historical event? Let me know in the comments. See you next time, bye.